Alright, what is going on, my dudes? We are back here today with another Hulkbuster Beta rank up video. Now, this one is going to be with the champion that you're probably never going to see at 6-star rank 3 again. And that's going to be Man, dude. We're going to be taking Man up to rank 3 as a 6-star and seeing how he does, man. Now, when Man was being released and I had him in the content creator program, I was trying really hard, man. I was just like really trying to find a use for this guy, and I found uses for him. Don't get me wrong, like he has his uses. It's just that, like, when am I gonna choose Man over Ghost? Or like over any other champion in the entire game that can also do what he does. In my opinion, Man is a champion who is designed to have like a killer burst of guaranteed critical damage when he reaches frenzy mode. But the best part about Man is when he's not in frenzy. The best part about Man is when he's able to shrug off debuffs instantly when he's under 15 monster mass, and when he has that passive true strike ability when he's under 5 monster mass. Now when he gets above 5 monster mass, well, that true strike goes away, and when he reaches frenzy, he's not going to be able to purify debuffs anymore. And here's the thing, the fights where you want to use Man for are going to be fights where there are some unavoidable debuffs, alright? And once you enter frenzy, once you enter the mode where you could actually do some damage, well, you're not going to be able to shrug off those debuffs anymore, and then you're going to die. And that kind of takes away the entire point of using Man. So it's like, alright, well, the fights that he was designed to take, he can't take anymore. So where am I going to use him? And for me, where I would like to use Man is like Mesmerize and Spry, and where I need that passive true strike, right? Where there's like an evading champion and I can stay under 5 monster mass. And that's where I like to use Man. That's where I see his place in this game. And that's very sad because there are already a lot of champions that can deal with that, you know? Look at the Domino Trinity and look at Ghost, even Corvus and Proxima. But anyway, I got some fights and endgame content for you guys to show you with this 6-star rank 3 Man. I brought him up against that Science Adaptoid in Variant 2, the one that evades like a madman, okay? And he actually does really, really well. I feel like Man, like aside from Quake, is the best option for that fight because he evades and he's stun immune, so you can't really use Domino for it. You can't use Ghost because she's not an extra large champion. So, you know what? That fight, I feel like Man is actually the best option for. So that's where Man fits in this game for me. I also brought him up against some Mesmerize paths in Act 6. So how about this? Let's stop talking about this guy. Let's jump into some gameplay. That's what you're really here to see. Let's get moving. Alright, so what this guy has is he's pretty much, he's stun immune and he evades like just about every single attack that you're going to throw at him, okay? So that's what you got to know about this guy. And you have to fight him, I believe, 3 or 4 times in Variant 2. And if you aren't an extra large champion, alright, you're only going to be able to hit him with heavy attacks. So, obviously, especially at the time when Variant 2 was released, there weren't too many extra large champions who can easily deal with this guy. Now, this is a Science Adaptoid, okay, so he does have the animations of OG Spider-Man, so I do want to try and push him up to a Special 2 here as much as I can. Now, Man is pretty good for stun immune matchups in general because he gets that unstoppable when they hit into his block there, so you can kind of counter them as if you were playing like Elsa Bloodstone there. But here we just baiting out that Special 2, and it's been about 45 seconds, and probably the most annoying boss in Variant 2 is just absolutely flushed down the toilet here like it was nothing. So I mean, you know, I feel like every champion has that really tough fight that they're really good for, like Terrax, for example. example, is just really good for the Ultron at the end of variant 1 3.3. You know what I mean? Because he's immune to shock and he's a cosmic champion. And you know, Mole Man's just perfectly made for this Science Adaptoid. When you're under 5 monster mass, well, he's not going to be able to evade you, and you're going to be able to just let him hit into you there, and you're going to go unstoppable because he's stun immune. And Mole Man was just pretty much designed for that fight. So up next, I did bring him into the 6.3.1 Mesmerize path. Okay, so this has a lot of evaders on it. It has Mesmerize and it has Pilfer, and basically, you know, I've said this many times on my channel now about Mole Man, is that he does have that potential for that high damage when he's in frenzy mode, but I don't really like him for that because the damage isn't too crazy and it doesn't even last that long, and it's a lot of build up for nothing, and it takes away all of his utility. Now, I've also said many times, my favorite thing about Mole Man, okay, is his True Strike under 5 monster mass that he gets at the beginning of the fight. Always, no matter what. So here, I've been rambling for about 45 seconds, and this Miles Morales is just going down the drain, man. You know, he's stacking those bleeds up, 6, 7, 8 bleeds, and we're just baiting out, the special 2s there. Gonna hit him with a big special 2. Look at that, that was nice. It was a 12k special 2 at the beginning. Probably would have ended up being like around 25, 30k for a special 2, so that's not too bad. You know, Mole Man he does deal with Mesmerize and any type of evading or auto block really well. I just really feel like that's his place in this game. Now, something that I thought of after I recorded this video, after I was in the beta, is that he is also very good for Icarus. There are a couple of videos out. I believe Steed made a video, and so did KT1 made a recent video showcasing Mole Man on Icarus. And he'd be great on it because, you know, he'd be gaining those Furies, okay? And you don't have to worry about getting rid of the degen because the degen is going to purify and it's going to turn into Frenzy when you get to 15. And then you're going to be having all those Furies, and every hit's going to be guaranteed crit. So he's going to be a really good option for Icarus whenever we see Icarus again in the future, alright? Now, here's the thing with Mole Man, okay? If it's an Icarus and Mesmerize combination, okay? If that, for some reason, happens to be a node combo, well, he wouldn't be good there, okay? Because you'd be, you'd be hitting the opponent, you'd be gaining those Furies, you'd be gaining those degens, and then you'd be above 5 monster mass. And what happens when you go above 5 monster mass? Well, your ability for the True Strike goes away. That's why in these fights that I'm showing you right now, I'm taking a couple hits on the block every now and then so I can get rid of some of that monster mass. Because what happens is, when you're at, but look at this, that was cool. See, I got hit by that special 1 and I got the stun, but he purified the stun right away. So there's, you know, he has his little tricks. It's just that, you know, he, like, the idea is there with Mole Man, but it just feels like he needs a little bit of love. He needs a little bit of tweaking, and he could be a really good character because he has a lot of really unique utility that I really like. Like this True Strike here is just, it's just very nice. You see how many times you see evade failed jump up on the opponent here. And, you know, usually when you fight Ultron and when you fight Miles Morales, you have to, like, kind of alter your playstyle so that you have to just really keep that evade in the back of your mind. But you don't have to worry about that when you're fighting with Mole Man at all. It's just a very easy, breezy fight here when you're using him, okay? So here this Ultron's down to 10%. I'm tossing off his special 3. I was hoping that it would kill him, although I don't believe it does, because, you know, Mole Man's special 3 isn't the most powerful special 3 in the entire world. One thing I really don't love about Mole Man is that a lot of his damage does come from his signature ability, and he does need to be at a decently high signature level. And Mole Man just isn't really the character that's worth all of that investment for a giant burst of damage that you're not going to be seeing too often. You know what I mean? I had Heimdall with me, so that's how I survived there, in case anybody was wondering that. But he gains a lot of his damage from being at low health and also at a high signature level. Okay, so he is missing out on a bunch of damage, and I'm sure the damage would be a lot more impressive in this video if he was duped, but unfortunately during this Hulkbuster Beta I did not have a way to dupe him. unfortunately, because I gave my skill awakening gem to my stealth Spidey before this beta happened, but that's all good, no worries there. It's really good, you know, Moman's really great against Wasp as well, because Wasp is another champion that, like, you don't ever want to hit when she isn't stunned, for example, but, like, you don't have to worry about that because you just had that True Strike, and she has a very low health pool, right? She's definitely a glass cannon. By the way, you never want to push Wasp to a special 2, but at this point in this video, I was just kind of haphazardly trying to nuke her down a little bit here, just to see what I can do. You know, usually you want to bait out that special 1, but it's really great when you're fighting Wasp, okay, because you just don't even have to worry about her doing that little evade, and even if she could evade, right, if you were to push above 5 monster mass when you're fighting her, and then she can evade and you get the shock on you, well, Moman's completely immune to shock, so you don't even have to worry about that either. So all around, Moman is a pretty decent Wasp counter, okay? So the thing with Moman, you know, I touched upon his insane damage capability if he was duped and had a high sig, but you know, to get that crazy damage, you know, you have to play at low health, and when you're playing in endgame content, the attack values are so high, and it requires you to take some hits on the block very, very frequently to get that unstoppable, and it's just not sustainable, especially because his block proficiency is very, very low. You know, one thing that I suggested to the BAM team is that if he is, like, above 10 monster mass, let's say, right, then he gets perfect block whenever he's unstoppable. I feel like that's something that can go into his kit that can make his, you know, offensive, his bursty offensive damage a little bit more manageable and a little more realistic, because he, you know, I keep saying the idea is there, but it just, when you go to execute it, it just kind of falls flat. Like here, we're at 1% health, and still, like, the damage is nothing crazy. It's nothing to write home about. This is a rank 3 6-star champion. At this point, I was just throwing myself, like, right at Stark Spidey. I wasn't even trying to win this fight anymore, so I ran right into a heavy attack. But, you know, I also recorded some, like, Winter Soldier footage just to, like, try and get into frenzy mode, and the damage was just so pathetic that I don't even want to include it in this video, because it's just depressing, man. Like, like, it's probably getting really annoying to the developers, man, but I'm, like, petitioning them to just rework Moman and Terrax. Like, I'm bugging them, like, at least 3 times a week. You know, I keep saying, like, the ideas are there for both of the champions. Even Terrax has a lot of very interesting things going on with him, but the numbers are just not there. It's not practical. They both need a little bit of love, and here we're seeing even a 6-star rank 3 Moman, and he's just not living up to what he's supposed to be. You know, he's not supposed to be like the next Ghost or Corvus, but he's not supposed to be like the next meme tier champion, right? And you know, I don't do tiers. Every champion has their use, and every champion fits in somewhere, and as we saw, he's very, very good for Mesmerize, and he's very, very good for Icarus, and he's fantastic, probably the best option for that Science Adaptoid, because he's an extra large champion who has that True Strike at the beginning of the fight, you know? But yeah, dudes, like, I don't know, man, Moman needs something, whether it be like a big synergy update, or just a total rework, or just a couple tweaks. I don't know what it is, but he needs something, you know what I'm saying? Alright, my dudes, if you enjoyed seeing that rank 3 6-star Moman gameplay, do your boy a favor and leave a like, comment what you think about Moman, and comment how you would fix Moman in the comment section below, and subscribe if you want to see some more rank up videos coming to you very, very soon. I'll be seeing you around.